Peace, everyone. Peace once again. How's it going? How's it going? I hope everyone's having a very phenomenal day. As you can see, I'm having a very fantastic morning. I'm in here in the hotel. I didn't feel like going outside making this video, so here it is. But how's everyone doing today? I want to talk about today, the insubstantial proof that we are having against this coronavirus. And I got a fact check not so long ago talking about how it's a potential threat from Facebook, that it's a potential threat if we don't get vaccinated and so on and so forth. The thing is, though, it is no measure of good health to be well adjusted to a society that is profoundly sick. It is no measure of good health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. So we must understand, if you want to get healthy, don't go to a sick doctor. We must understand that hospitals only treat the symptom. If you take away the masks, if you take away the TV, the television, which tells lies to your vision, if you take away the TV, if you take away the mask, you really would not see a virus. The only virus is what they plant in your head in terms of what you frequently see. We must understand that what you tune into, you turn into. So if you pay attention to the repetition in your life, it will reveal to you a pattern. And that pattern will then reveal a synchronicity. Synchronicity is usually a sign from the universe that you are on the right path. Now we must understand this, that the only cure that is on this planet for you that is healthy is food. Your food is the cure, because mucus is how a disease is formed. They got sinusitis, mucus in the nose, bronchitis, mucus in the lungs, arthritis, which is mucus in your joints, right? So it's all based on mucus. Now, of course, the mucus first built up in the small, I think it's the small or large intestines first, and then it spreads out through the body. Now we must understand this, that if you drinking alkaline water and eating healthy foods like grapes, blueberries, raspberries, avocados, celery, all these things, your body is going to be replaced by those things, because your skin replaces every 35 days, your organs replace every 3 to 6 months, and your bones replace every 10 years. So literally, as we speak, your body is dying and living your body is dying and restoring itself simultaneously as we speak. Understand that we live in a singular world, but we also live in a dualistic world, in the sense of right, wrong, left, right, yes, no, hot, cold, yin and yang. But this double helix creates what we call synergy, and this synergy is what we call singularity, simultaneous. And that synergy is the energy that works as one. Now, we must understand that oneness is a state in which we only achieve through meditation. Meditation is the art of absorbing oneself in the eternal present moment, which is now, here. Not here physically, here, my present moment, and with me, but wherever you are, and also here with me as well, because we must understand that the spirit is not the flesh. Flesh is not spirit. So we have to understand that everything is space. Fundamentally speaking, everything is nothing. And wanting nothing attracts everything. So once you realize that you are a participant in this cosmic quarry, you get to watch the universe unfold itself and reveal itself on a day-to-day basis. Understand this. If we're talking numbers, measurements, if we're going to live until we're about 100 years old, that is about 5,200 weeks to live. If we're 25 and we live until we're 75, that's about 3,200 weeks to 2,700 weeks. So we have to understand that obviously time is limited. Our time is limited. This is a limited time offer of the universe. And we must understand that Time is just a number in the sense of it is time is motion, time is perspective, and speed is distance over time. So, in other words, the faster you do something, the slower time goes. The slower you do something, the faster time goes. But if you focus directly on time, of course it's going to move slower because you're focusing directly on the number. It's not going to go faster because you're looking at it. Like my mom used to say, the food's not going to cook faster just because you're staring at it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to kind of sort of remind ourselves that we have all the time in the world. You see, if you rush in something, you're not going to do it more efficiently, because if you knew you were rushing to your death, would you still rush? Right? So with that being said, we have to breathe in that good-ass prana and relax. Breathe. Calm down. There is strength in the release, because a release is real ease. And when you get that real ease, you will then find tranquility. We have to remind ourselves that the food is the cure. So if you're always eating out, if you're always eating McDonald's, you're not going to be healthy. Why? Because you're not even making your own food. Someone else is making your food. And you have to think about it. Processed food is not made out of love. So we must understand that the more love you take away from yourself, the more you take the memory away from yourself, the less healthy you're going to be. What do I mean by memory? You see, memory is created by you, by yourself, by recording. So the more you record yourself, the more memories you can develop. You're developing an awareness through recording. So writing a journal, writing music, recording these videos like I'm doing now. There are so many ways to create memory storage, right? That is how you create real, genuine happiness. Because happiness is progress. Progress is nothing more than a continuum, right? You see, success, the success is a funny word, because most people think that success is like having a lot of money, or success is having a bunch of stuff. That's not success at all. A person is successful when they know where they are, they know where they're going, and they're progressively moving in that direction. You see, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Notice this. Success is a progressive, which means it's a continuous thing. Progressive means consistent. A progressive realization. It's not something you have. It's not something you make. It's something you realize. You know what I'm saying? So success is a progressive, continuous realization of a worthy ideal. That means that you don't ask yourself, am I worthy of it? You ask yourself, is it worthy of me? Right? And once you understand that, once you start asking yourself, are things worthy for you, that's going to change the way you think about the world, because it's going to give you back your power. It's going to make you realize that you are a sovereign being. We are human beings, not human doings. So we must understand that everything is connected. Instead of analyzing everything, we must integrate. We must grow. We are here to grow and integrate. So understand this, that being analytical is nothing more than being judgmental. And I'm not here to be a judge. Although if you ask me a crazy question, I will judge that. But I will never judge your answer. Because your answer is an educated guess, your hypothesis. And your hypothesis, although it is spectacle, it is not proven. A hypothesis is spectacle, not proven. That means it is based off of skeptics. A theory is something that is tested and something that is proven, right? So we have to understand that a theory is our highest form of understanding. It's basically saying, hey, I comprehend that on a high level. I understand that, I understand that, I overstand that, right? We have to understand and remind ourselves that we are the power, right? Desire is a manifestation of power. And we must also understand that clarity is a form of power, right? Because when you can be transparent about what you want in an organized and intelligible fashion, that will be vitally important to your future. Why? Because when you can be transparent, we can be clear about what you want. When you know what you need, when you know what you want, when you can identify your needs and be specific at the same time, you will then attract things because you become the magnet. You are magnetizing yourself to things. You see, they don't want you to know that you are the money. They don't want you to know that money is nothing more than currency. And that means that money is an energy, right? Because if you go in the water, they have those currents, or if you understand electricity, electrical current. Currency is a medium of is a form of exchange, a form of trade. You know what I'm saying? A energy exchange, right? So we have to understand that wealth, like energy, cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred, right? So knowledge is provision. It is something that must be seen through observation, because observation is the greatest source of wisdom, and experience is the source of knowledge. So we must understand this, that the source of a guru's knowledge is you. The source of a guru's authority, the source of the media's authority is you. You give them power. How? With your attention. You pay them with your attention. But they don't want you to know that, though. You don't hear me. You pay the media with your attention. You pay the illusion with your attention. If you understand optical illusions, going into the eye doctors, how they put those things on your eyes and they change the vision, that is perspective. What do I mean? It doesn't matter how you look at it. It's all looking at it from the same lens. So, with that being said, understand this, that I may not be able to see what you see. Even if I see the same thing you see, I won't be able to see what you see, because you may see something completely different than how I see it. For example, bees. Bees see ultraviolet. Snakes see heat radiation. Right? In reality, what reality really is a projection of our own consciousness. Really, in reality, there is no sound, there is no color, there is no taste, smell, hearing, sight, feeling. There is no such thing as those in reality. In the primary reality, we judge those things by mass, length, height, width. And in the secondary, that's when we give it color, taste, smell, touch, texture, and so on and so forth. Really, there is no reality, because fundamentally speaking, everyone has a different reality, right? God is a vibrational frequency that exists within you, and understand that your frequency is what you frequently see. Theologians say God is. Scientists say energy is. But they become in harmonious synchronicity by saying this, that we become what we consistently think about, and that's by law. Understand that the universal laws, the natural laws, the divine laws, we must view these as God's modus operandi, God's plan, God's method, God's strategy, right? And by thinking this, you will then realize that there are no accidents or coincidences, only connections and synchronizations. There are no such thing as mistakes, right? You are not a mistake. You matter because you're made of energy. Energy equals MC squared. Energy equals matter. Energy is matter. That's how I know you matter. You have deep reservoirs of potential. You have deep reservoirs of talent. You have deep reservoirs of skill, knowledge, wisdom, so on and so forth, intelligence. So we have to understand that we are the power. We are the blood of the system. We are what powers the system. We are the government. We are sovereign beings. With that being said, government is an acronym. Not acronym, excuse me. If you break the word government down to syllables, government, the ment part in government means mental. So governmental. We are the ones who govern ourselves. We are autonomous, self-governing. Only when you reclaim your power, only when you reclaim your sovereignty and stop living a life of servitude, only then will you realize that you are a sovereign being. They want to subjugate you. They want to make you subservient to their rule. They want to make you submissive to their rule. We ain't having it. This whole coronavirus, corona emanates from the corona from the sky, the sun corona, which means crown. Crown, understand a crown, which can also be represented as the halo. The corona represents a halo, which means our head, our crown, our corona, right? Thought energy comes through that corona and is transferred through our consciousness, in the sense of it is filtered through our consciousness in an organized and intelligible fashion. Organized planning and taking action is how you get what you want, because understand this, the world's a play, and we are all acting. We are all players. We are all characters in that play. Understand this, you are not a side character in this play. You are not a bit player in this game. You are the main character. You are player one. Let's go, champ. Right? You are player one. So you see, if winning was easy, everyone would win, but it's not easy. That's why everyone don't win. You have to understand, you are the shark in the ocean. Sharks don't even really sleep for real. They put themselves on autopilot and kind of sort of rest through the water, but sharks don't really even sleep for real. They just wake up and scare stuff every single day. But you know what they do? They don't stop moving, not once. Be the shark. Set goals, though, by the way, because if you don't set goals, setting goals is like setting goals is like being a sailor in the sea and guiding yourself and navigating yourself through the water. But not setting goals is like having a ship in the sea with no navigator, no person that's no sailor, right? And they're just setting the boat off in the water. Now it's not even going to make it that far. Why? Because there's no one in the boat. Therefore, that boat's going to just go haywire. So, by setting goals and taking action on those goals, will you move progressively in that direction? Because again, success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. First, we have to figure out, what do we want? What's our purpose? What's our reason for being here? What's our why? What's the meaning of all this, right? When we ask those questions, only then will we realize why we are here. There are two most important days of our life: the day we were born and the day we find out why. Understand this, that man is a thinking center, and we use the cosmic thought energy as a source to develop what we call a mind. Or not mind, but we develop what we call understanding, and then we transmute that to communicate with others, building rapport. Understand this, that man is a thinking center. We are literally a mass of energy, and our body functions on frequencies. Your frequency is what you frequently see, and we think on frequencies, right? We literally think on frequencies. So if you're frequently thinking about bad things, you get bad experiences. If you frequently think about good things, you get good experiences. Now, some people may think that's unrealistic. That's totally realistic. This dates back 6,000 years. People have been using this method for years. Years. The only way you can create your future is by connecting the dots through the past, by following the greats. And understand this, adversity is what makes a man great. When you can persevere through adversity, being consistent, being persistent through adversity, that's what makes you great. You have to choose to be good. You have to decide to be good, because the choice has been already made. You're just here to understand why you made that choice. I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask to be here either. But I'm here to understand why I am here. And with that being said, understand this. Now that I know my purpose is be a healer, a storyteller, a lover, right? A restorer, a healer. I'm a holistic healer who works as a thaumaturge, right? A wonder worker, a miracle worker. I work with theurgy, divine working, right? So with that being said, understand this, I'm a holistic healer. I don't treat the symptom, I treat I cure the whole person by getting to the core issue, the core problem, right? I don't treat the symptom, I don't treat the subclass. I get to the nitty-gritty of things, the source of things. And the source of every person is consciousness. The center of every person is the mind, right? The influence of every person is the soul, the heart. The soul rests within the heart. The mind is the center of the brain. The pineal gland, which we don't know how it really works. We understand it's chemical based, but you don't hear me though, right? That's our chemical body. But understand this, that the spirit is space, and we are space. That fills our entire body, right? The spirit is fundamental because the spirit is not flesh. The spirit is nothing more than pure primordial energy that is pure and innocent. Phaedra. Every infant is born with it. Every adult has it. But we have to tap into that youthful enthusiasm. We have to tap into that youthful optimism. And yes, I understand being realistic. But fuck realistic. Baby, I'm a mystic. Right? Don't get me wrong, though. I like to be very fundamental as well and be very practical and rudimentary. But we must understand this. We are here to have fun and be sincere. I'm not here to be serious. Why would I take serious what God made for fun? I'm authentic. I'm going to be as authentic as possible. I'm going to be as sincere as possible. I'm going to be as genuine as possible. I'm down to earth, baby. You understand? I'm down to earth. I live on Gaia, the earth realm, right? I live on eudaimonia, where humans flourish, where humans are blessed, and where humans prosper. I live harmoniously as one with every person, right? So we have to understand that I'm a human being. You're a human being. We're the same. We're not special because we're different. We're significant because we're the same. And what makes me unique is that you can't be me, and what makes you unique is I can't be you. Understand this, the foundation, the base of every person is the self, the Atman. Atman is Sanskrit for the self, the base of every person, the foundation of every person. So the problem today with people is we look for answers outside of ourselves, and we're never going to find it that way. The answer is within us. You have to understand that we are the question and the answer is seeking us. What you seek is seeking you. You just have to figure out how to ask the right question. And you can't go there. You can't ask this question with fear. Fear does not prevent death. It prevents life. Anxiety is the desire to want to escape the present moment, thinking about the future. And worry is nothing more than wasted imagination. Doubt is limitation. And fear is a self-created emotion based upon a pseudo-realization, a fake realization that one does not have the capacity to overcome one's own experiences. Understand this, faith and fear emanate from the same energy. Our brain is what interprets it. Now understand this, faith works best in uncertainty. Because if everything was certain, if you knew everything, you wouldn't have time for innovation. You wouldn't need faith. Right? Because creativity is born in uncertainty. Dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction is what put us in a creative state. We have to remind ourselves that we are the power. We can do anything. We were put on this earth to create. We were put on this earth to understand ourselves. But you cannot understand the self without understanding the other, because self is other. If we use the word is and use it as a parallel to implies. So self implies other. I implies other. Or I implies we. Us. Us implies me. Team implies you. Because they say there's no I in team, but what about you? Exactly. Exactly. You see, in the table of spirituality, there are no corners because it's a round table. Religion is the one that tries to cut corners, make things dualistic, but I'm non-dual, no contest. I'm not here to be competitive. I'm here to be as authentic as possible, right? Not competition, all creation, because creation is truth. There are three things you cannot hide: the sun, the moon, and the truth, period. And I am the truth, as you are the truth, because we are of creation. Understand this. They don't want you to know that the medicine is in the food. So if you're eating pineapples, mangoes, dates, right? If you're eating spinach, Your leafy greens, because understanding that green is relative to the fourth dimension, which is of love. So green is representative of love, getting all that magnesium from your veggies, or the green veggies, excuse me, your broccoli, right? Understanding that since your skin is dying and being restored simultaneously, and one, you have to understand that you become what you eat. Literally, we become what we consume. What you consume will consume you. Unfortunately, the matrix cannot be told. It must be seen and experienced. Intuition. We are God's highest form of creation. Literally, we are God's highest form of creation. Every other animal around us is totally totally blending in with their environment. Us as humans are the only creatures on the planet who are totally disoriented in our environment. Why do you think that? We have look at this TV. We got TVs. We got the lights right there. We got cell phones. We got a microwave, yo. Right? We got air conditioning. Right? You got to understand that these things just didn't come out of, they literally came from an idea. Ideas can be transmuted into money with a definite plan and a definite demand. And a definite purpose, a definite plan and a definite purpose. And understand, riches do not come to you just by hard work and faith alone, hard work and honesty alone. If riches do come to you, it is never the result of hard work. It comes to a definite demand based upon definite principles. What does that mean? Supply and demand. Sell me this pen. Someone has to need it. That's a demand. Definite demand means someone has to need it. You want to know why doctors never go out of business? Because people need them. You want to know why the phone companies never go out of business? Because we don't necessarily need the phone, but phones are necessities. Why? Because they can become an asset if you learn how to make it an asset. If your phone's not making you money, your phone's a liability. Why? Because your phone is taking money away from you. It's a reoccurring bill. Not a check, a bill. Right? So understand this. You are your greatest asset. Unless you're a liability. Because if you're a liability, that means you're a slave to the system. You're a slave to substance. If you cannot get control of your habits, if you cannot get control of your attitude, if you cannot get control of your life, your priorities, you are a slave to the system. It's nothing but a big old game of monkey see, monkey do, and Simon Says. You got to understand that we're all puppies. We're all puppets in this matrix. I'm just the one that sees the string. Right? I'm the one who sees the string. We have to understand this, that they don't want you to know that the medicine is in the food. I know I keep saying that, but I just got to keep repeating it because your frequency is what you frequently see, what you frequently hear, what you frequently touch. Right? Your desire is linked to your appetite. So that's why, again, appetite is very important because that's your appeal. That's what you pay attention to, which is your first line of currency, your first line of energy. So understand this. There are two banks you should pay attention to. Your physical bank, which is your money, and your emotional bank, which is your attention, your emotions. If you can't control your emotions, you will never be rich. Because I'm rich only because I realize I create happiness. And because I realize I create happiness, I understand this, that I am abundant. Right? I am fruitful. I am prosperous. I am successful. Right? So we have to understand that we all live on this earth. This earth is our home. Take care of the Mother Earth. Because before the Father, there was the Mother. Before the Father, there was the Mother. So always respect the divine feminine. Always have respect for your mom. Always have respect for your sisters. Always have respect for women. Men are supposed to look at women as if they were sacred. Now, I'm not saying that allow women to control us, but what I am saying is you always supposed to look at a woman as if she was sacred. And a woman is supposed to look at us as if we were kings. It's a mutual respect here because sex is a sacred energy exchange. Understand that sex is supposed to be private and consensual, right? Break up with porn. Stop masturbating. Why? Because this is a chemical called dopamine, which is your reward receptor. And if you're always masturbating, if you're always having sex, you are then going to not only have erectile dysfunction, but you'll never know how to receive a compliment. You'll never know how to receive rewards. Why? Because your dopamine receptors are being fried, overused, overstimulated. So take a break, take some time, breathe, go outside, love yourself, love your neighbor, love your brother, love your mother, love your family, period. You are sovereign. You are a chosen one. You were chosen to be on this earth. How do I know? Because you're born right now, here, in the present moment. Time does not exist. It's man-made. Make time for yourself. If you can't even take 10 minutes for yourself, you are poor. Because the highest form of wealth is to say, I can wake up and do anything I want. I can do anything. You can do anything. You can make a wave. Are you the drop in the ocean or the ocean in a drop? What? Slow motion D-side. You have to understand, are you the drop in the ocean or the ocean in the drop? What's the size of life? What's the size of life? You don't know? I don't know either. I'm just asking the question. But we have to understand that some people may say that, oh, all this stuff that you're saying is insubstantial. Understand this. If you only think materialistic, you will never understand me. Because there's also an astral. There's the astral part of things, and there's the ethereal part of things. Or solid, liquid, gas. Some things have solidity, but some things have a liquid form, or an astral form. And some things have an ethereal form, a gastro form. So understand this, that your imagination is going to take you across the world. Knowledge is not as important as imagination. Although imagination must be used in a certain way to understand that, imagination must be used in a certain way in order to progress. Why? Because if you use imagination for the wrong thing, it's going to disintegrate you. But if you use imagination for the right thing, it will create you. We become what we consistently think about. Be prosperous. Be fruitful. Live in abundance. Right? You matter. Literally, our body is a massive energy that vibrates on frequencies. That vibrates and functions on frequencies. Literally, we think on frequencies. And as we think, we vibrate to that. We match the vibration of our thoughts. We literally live in an ocean of motion. Right? I asked someone yesterday, I said, how's the prana today? I said, huh? What's prana? Literally, prana means life. It's a life source. It's breath that is considered our life source. That's what prana means. That's like 2 fish. That's like 3 fish, right? There's a fish swimming, and it's swimming past 2 fish. He said, hey, how's the water today? So he swim past. They said, what's water? H2O? What's H2O? They're talking about that stuff right there. That stuff that we drink. That liquid stuff. If it is a liquid, right? Literally, nothing exists how we think it does. You see, we only see 50% of the truth, and not even that. But understand this. You have to see the fitness payoff. See the fitness payoff. Don't just try to seek the truth. See the fitness payoff. Right? Understand this. Those who the organisms that are equal complexity to the ones who only seek the truth evolve faster, grow more, become more fruitful and abundant than the ones who only seek truth. Why? Because when you're always asking questions and not being content with the answers that you're receiving, you'll never be able to progress. Every question has an answer, every answer has a question, and so on and so forth. Right? It's called the law of attraction. You attract what you think. Our mind is literally a magnet. Our mind is the center of the mind is the center of every person. The spirit is what permeates, penetrates, and fills every person. Right? The soul rests within our heart. It's the most influential thing on this planet. Why? Because when our heart feels damaged, when our heart feels hurt, it feels like physical inflicted pain. Don't let your desire ruin your life. Don't let attachment ruin your life. Don't let your appetite ruin your life. But with that being said, feel free to inbox me if you have any questions. I do have services available for people in the sense of I do projects. I do projects for people. I will if you want, let's say for example, a vision board. You know, if you want me to make you a presentation, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of to understand yourself, I do all kind of work for people in the sense of presentations. I do, you know what I'm saying, what else do I do? Vision boards. I consult, right? I do copywriting. I do public speaking. Just inbox me. I'll let you know my services, right? And also, I help people with depression. If you're going through depression, I help you understand your depression, help you understand addiction, right? I help entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? I have services for entrepreneurs, the educated and uneducated, and anyone with the desire to want to know the science of getting rich. Because there is a science for getting rich, and it is an exact science. And we must understand this, that when we talk about getting rich, we must think in a certain way, not in an uncertain way, in a certain way. Because getting rich is an exact science. Like 1 + 1 is 2. It's mathematical. The only thing is we must understand the price to value. There's a price to value. So, again, just inbox me whenever you want to know anything. And just remember to drink water, eat healthy, and remember that you matter. Peace.